What's up, you guys? Gohan Barracuda here, and this is getting out of jail part 2. This is what happened before the other ones I put up, so just want to make that clear right from the get-go. I kind of screwed it up, but hey, you will notice that it's part 1, part 2, part 3. Just watch them in order, Probably titled part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, stuff like that. So, got a paper here, what happened, so I'm going to read it from there. So, let's go here. On the first day of being a trustee, during dinner, me and Devante were wheeling the cart down the hall. Something came through on the radio, which was a fight. Next thing that happens, you're told to get against the wall because there's like 5 or so COs flying down the hallway to stop the fight between Andrew and someone else. I don't know who the other person was, but Andrew was moved to another block. On our way down the hallway to make the dinner trays, 2 of the COs saluted me. You know how I do it at the end of my videos? They saluted me, like I do, and I did the same back to them. Another one did it 2 days later. I did it back to him. On 12/30/21, I saw a friend named Martin that I hadn't seen for quite a while. On the first day of January 2022, kicked off the new year with a smile. I was fired from my trustee position and moved back to APOD. As soon as I was seen, I was applauded by the entire pod and high-fived and fist-bumped by many. And the trustee that had quit shortly before that said, "I knew you'd be back by the end of the week." And ironically, Devante was fired from his trustee position on the same day and moved to CPOD. Me and the former trustee talked, and he said they probably fired him because he stuck up for you. Let me just say, Devante is good, peoples. He was awesome. I learned something later that I'll get to in a moment. The former trustee who had quit asked me to act. He told me to pretend like I was lifting weights. He asked me many times. He wanted the guards to see it. He'd tell me the amount of weight to pretend with. Later, after lights out, one of the guards said 200, meaning act like you're squatting 200 pounds. I did it and he laughed. I don't mind people laughing. 1/4/22. The fire alarm went off 2 times. Once when I was sleeping, and once when I wasn't. We had to lock in the first time, but the second time we didn't. The guy just said, "Don't worry about it." I mean, everybody got up to lock in, and he goes, "No, you don't need to lock in." Also on this day, an inmate who I knew from APOD, where I was at this time, and who I saw in the trustee block, came back to APOD and answered questions that I had. Devante quit that day because they fired me, but he was back at this time. A few days after I was fired, a CO came to me in APOD with paper for me to sign. He just said, "This is just saying that you're not an inmate worker anymore and that you understand that," or something to that effect. On this day, 1/4/22, Michael, the trustee I've been talking about, turned down the volume on the TV that other people were watching and put the remote behind his back. Ock and Pops, the people I told you about, got him to come out later by calling him. As soon as he came out, Ock hurled the milk straight at him and got him in the chest. He just said, "What the fuck?" The CO just had a laugh with him. didn't punish him or anything. That's what it's like in jail. You don't get punished unless you're like fucking someone up. Now, on 1/6/22, I was about to put my tray and spoon on the cart, which is like where they put the carts when you're done with them. But a man named Darwin took it and did it for me. There was a guy that I told you about in the last one, Juan. He fronted me a Cajun chicken soup. I was hungry as hell. That's what happens when you work out. And on that, Brett let me watch ID in his pod after part of the block known as the bubble, which is where the glass is. I had to put that in there. On 1/7/22, the fire alarm went off again. WTF is going on here? This never happens before. It never happened. I never heard the fire alarm go off once, and then all of a sudden it's going off all the time. The second I was finished eating on this day, I was about to put the tray on the cart. Before I could even stand up, Darwin comes from out of nowhere and takes care of it. I mean, am I running the deck here? Or is Darwin one of the coolest people to ever live? Because I have Peter Pan syndrome, I like to act like a child. I pretended to be a tiger. I'm sure your children have acted like a tiger or like an animal or something like that. I acted like it for about a minute or so. After the show, I stood up and said thank you and bowed. The whole pod applauded, including the CO. So I must be good at acting. I know I'm good at acting. And, I got a whole bunch of people who gave me food, which I'll name in my shout-outs. On 1/8/22, I noticed, hey, Barracuda, can I have some Kool-Aid? And the exponent that I have right here, Barracuda, can I have some Kool-Aid? See the exponent? 5. Because I'm getting it from everybody multiple times. I'm like, dude, can't you buy your own Kool-Aid? I had barely any because everybody was asking me for it. But I got traded, too. So guys, that's what happened at my last time. So I'll put this up on YouTube. I hope you enjoy it. Go on, Barracuda signing off. Y'all take care now.